Last June, Aaron and I bought our first house. It was a huge step for us and the home was beautiful. However, one thing we didn't really like was the master bathroom. It was boring, bland, and there was a water problem in front of the shower. So we decided to look into getting it renovated. I contacted a number of local contractors and all their bids were well north of $10,000, so we decided to try to do it ourselves the best we could. I started by taking out the floor, which ended up being 3 layers of flooring that homeowners had put in over the years. There was a good amount of water damage in front of the shower because the old shower door didn't have a proper threshold, so I decided to cut out some of the floor. There was definitely a point in the project early on when I started pulling up the flooring where I was wondering, what am I getting myself into? Change of plan. Let's rip out all this rotten wood. Before opening up the flooring, I didn't know how bad the water was, but once I started pulling things up, the smell was absolutely horrible, and there was a lot more water than I thought. I didn't make a whole lot of mistakes during the demolition of this project, but what you're about to see in the next few moments is by far my biggest mistake. Use them legs, girl. No! Shoot! Where's the bucket? Ow! It's hot. Hold this. If I didn't know where the main water valve was before, I do now. Now we've got a water problem.
That's gonna be an awesome shot.
Oh yeah. That's one way to not rip out a vanity. With the broken water pipe out of the way, tearing down the vanity was pretty fun in the end. Alright, so a few days have passed since our mishap with the vanity. Unfortunately, I had to call a plumber to come in. That cost $200, but we're all fixed. Lesson learned. Problem is, I've been stripping out all these different floors. I think we've had 3 different floors now. It still smells very mildewy in here. So I'm gonna rip out this final layer of linoleum and see if underneath there's some more mold or something to try to get rid of this final smell. So the mold smell is basically gone, which has been a huge battle. But now I'm gonna seal it off with some Kills primer, just for good measure. So here I'm cutting hardy backer board. It's like a fancy concrete cardboard material. It's miserable to work with and creates a whole lot of dust. The backer board works similar to drywall in that you don't cut it, you just score it and snap it.
That is cool. Is that cool?
Adeline, you helping? The floor has a hump in it, where all this water damage was. You don't have to put thin set down underneath hardy backer board necessarily, but I decided to put it down in the spots where the floor was the lowest just to help add a little extra layer to make things as even as possible. I ended up using 4 full sheets party backer board for the bathroom. It took a lot of time taking all the measurements, but once it all was cut and fell into place, it was pretty neat to see it all fit together so nicely. That was the final screw. Holy cow, that's a lot of screws. Alright, so just wait for this all to dry, give it probably a few days, and then we tile. I have 0 experience with tile. My dad has 0 experience with tile, but between the two of us we figured it out. On the first day, I didn't do hardly any filming, I just stuck the camera to the side and did a time lapse. But we got a good rhythm down. I did all the measuring and cutting, and my dad did all the laying of the tile. Aaron picked out these nice tiles from Floor and Decor. They're large tiles and they've got a gray wood toned look to them, kind of a rustic look. The overall feel we're going for. Putting down the grout isn't necessarily difficult, it's just time consuming, given you have to scrub the floor a lot to get all the haze out. Now this was probably one of my more favorite parts of the project, the woodwork. I got a new power saw, and I had a whole lot of fun with a bunch of different camera angles during the process. As you can see, I started taking off the tile for the backsplash above the tub. We wanted to replace it with something a little more modern looking. But it didn't come off the drywall nicely, so I ended up actually taking all the tile and the drywall off the wall. This ended up being a lot more difficult than I thought because in most places the drywall was actually glued to the wall instead of nailed, and there were so many studs it took forever getting the drywall and the tile down. Probably a few hours at least. Once the drywall was fitted on the walls, I used tape and joint compound to cover the seams. I found that installing tile on the wall is a little more difficult than installing tile on the floor. Because on the floor you have gravity working for you, but on the wall it's definitely working against you. Everything just wants to fall down and it ends up making a large mess of everything. But Once you got in the groove, it started working. Once you got the first row down, it really went together nicely. Cool. We decided to use these large subway tiles in a subway pattern. For the corners, I liked the look of a sharp corner instead of the curved corner. I thought it gave it a slightly more modern feel. I can officially say all my tile work is done on this project. So here I'm starting a new phase in the project. I'm putting crown molding in the bathroom. I definitely benefited from having my dad here to help hold one end of the crown molding while I worked on making sure the angles were nice and tight. Tell exactly where you want it. The fun part is installing the crown molding. The not fun part is all the caulking and painting.
Show Daddy painting. Uh-oh, she turned it off.
Since I put in the white tile backsplash above the tub, it really made our tub that was sort of an off-white color and our shower, which was also an off-white color, look dingy. So instead of replacing these items, we decided to have them reglazed, which I was very impressed with how that went. It basically looks like a brand new tub and shower. I really do not enjoy painting, but it only took an evening, and man, once I got the paint in, the room really started to come together, especially with the white crown molding, the white tile, the gray floor. So the light gray walls really brought the room together. This is definitely the most fun part of painting, is seeing it all come together once you remove the tape. Did I mention how bad I hate plumbing? The seal where the toilet meets the stem is leaking. That's not even something that I installed, that's just the toilet itself. Come on, Kohler. Unfortunately, there's a crack in the porcelain right where the water line comes in, which was causing the leak underneath. Everything takes forever in Renos. And of course, this brand new one is missing a bolt. But thankfully I have the old one. Alright, moment of truth. Take two. No leaks that I see. Alright, all done. First flush. First toilet install. No shower door. Shower door. It took about 4 hours, but here's the 15-second version. 47 steps. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this got broke off either when I removed it a month or so ago or when the guys reglazed it. So I've got to replace the whole cartridge, which means I have to take this bonnet off. But to take this off, I'm going to have to cut it off because it's seized up. This is by far the scariest part of the project. I'm doing this on a workday morning, so if I screw things up, I'll call a plumber. Here's the moment of truth. Let's hope there's no leaks. That is definitely a success. Is your side down?
It's down.
I finished installing the vanity last night. I didn't film all the plumbing because that's kind of boring. I got both faucets in. Everything's working, no leaks. I got all the plumbing underneath done. One hiccup was that since this vanity is a lot taller, the drain stem didn't reach the P-trap, so I had to get this extender. It works fine, just one extra step though. The doors are all soft close. Down here, Erin's got a spot for her hair dryer and flat irons and other things. These faucets are pretty cool. There's no drain stop. It's actually a push button. Overall, I'm really happy with the vanity.
You helping Daddy?
This mirror I got is framed and weighs 60 pounds. I don't really have any studs in a good spot, so I'm having to go straight into the drywall. But I got these anchors and they're supposed to hold 100 pounds, so should be plenty of strength to hold up this big mirror. Are you good?
Yeah.
Come on, come on. You're on?
Hmm?
You trust it?
That's pretty.
Wow.
It's pretty.
Alright, Mama, where do you want this thing?
Let's put it in the middle.
How high do you? One, two, three, four. Alright, so here we go. It's all done. I can't believe it. It feels like so long ago when I was tearing up that floor. It's been about 3 or 4 months in the works. I didn't work on it every day or every weekend. There's weeks I didn't work on it at all, actually. We've been using the bathroom for a few months now, and everything works great. We've been very pleased with how everything's holding up. Now I'm just going to enjoy not having any home projects for at least a week or two.